Okay, so we spent 2 nights here at Sheraton PGA Vacation Resort in Port St Lucie, Florida. I'm going to give you our review of what we thought about it. Coming right up. Hello and welcome to Destination Timeshare. I'm Jeremy. This is a little bit different format. Usually when we spend a week at least at a property, I like to do my likes and dislikes of the resorts. But we're only here for a couple of nights total, so I thought I'd do kind of a more of a what are the quick pros and cons of the property, and then overall thoughts, and then who the property might be best suited for. So just thought I would maybe point out, this is their sign out front of the property here, the kind of the main entrance. I have a few weeds growing here. I should really just have somebody jump over there and pull those weeds. But yeah, just a few little maintenance kind of issues around the resort. The other bigger sign kind of out along more the main street, I guess you could say, it needs a good pressure wash. And the sidewalks a little bit too. And this is obviously a little bit older resort, probably built I think in the early 2000s. But yeah, it could use just a bit of a sprucing up along the bridge here where we're at. Maybe come out here, give it a good pressure wash, clean it up. It would look really nice. But it actually is in not too bad a condition. The room was clean as well, and we'll talk about that a little bit more here in a bit as well. We have some birds over here. Oh, they're flying away. They're scared of me. We call these guys WDW birds, Walt Disney World birds, because we always see those guys at Walt Disney World. Okay, so now let's start talking a little bit about this resort, and specifically the villas. This resort is made up of 3 buildings, and each building has 10 villas in it. 6 2-bedroom villas, just standard 2-bedroom villas, and 4 2-bedroom lock-off villas. Those actually lock off into 2 individual 1-bedroom villas, a 1-bedroom premium and a 1-bedroom, I guess, standard villa. Now, the 2-bedroom villas, they're 1,030 square feet. Actually a pretty good size, but the 2-bedroom lock-offs are 1,350 square feet. They make up a 900 square foot premium 1-bedroom and a 450 square foot standard 1-bedroom. Something to keep in mind, that standard 1-bedroom does not have a patio or balcony, whereas the regular 2 bedrooms and the 2-bedroom premiums do. So if you want a balcony, make sure you're booking that 1-bedroom premium or any of the 2 bedrooms. So the villas are actually quite nice, pretty good size. There's actually a really great plug-in in there right beside our patio door on the inside that's got 4 plugs, and it's up really high. It's like a YouTuber's dream, is plugging all your chargers in there. But yeah, good size. The bed is not overly comfortable, but other than that, nice unit inside. Some of the cons to the unit is that it's just not newly refurbished. It kind of has some older, not as modern furnishings. Obviously it looks like it's been about maybe 8 to 10 years since it's had a kind of full refurbishment, maybe even a little bit more. The villas in Orlando, if you've seen any of my videos on those, you know that those have been nicely refurbished. Great interior stylings in those, new furniture, pretty much everything all around. If you want to see any of those videos of the Sheraton Vistana Villages or Sheraton Vistana Resort, I will put a link to one of them up here. So be sure to check those out. You can see what those new villas look like there in Orlando. And maybe, hopefully, when they do renovations here, they'll do that style here as well. Something else really great in the villas that I want to point out is that the internet is fast, blazing fast. I did an internet speed test in there, and I was getting speeds well over 100 megabits per second upload and download. So as somebody who uploads videos to YouTube, you can imagine that is pretty cool, because it allows me to upload videos much faster than I normally would be able to at a lot of the other properties that I only get like 10 to 15. So much quicker upload speeds, great for connectivity. Let's head in here. We're gonna stop by a few other places, and I'll tell you some of those other pros and cons about the different areas of the resort and the amenities. Okay, so I'm here in the parking lot to talk about one of the definite pros here, is finding a parking space. You're not gonna have a problem finding a parking space. The parking lot looks like it was built out for several more buildings. I believe it's supposed to have 8 in total, and they only did 3. So yeah, the parking lot is pretty empty. You never really have a hard time finding a space, and especially with 10 villas in each building. There's really no problems finding spaces right out in front. That is definitely a good thing, because quite often we have a hard time finding parking spaces close to the buildings of the building that you're actually staying in. So great thing here, not a problem at all. All right, so I'm over here beside the kids' playground to talk about the amenities of this property and really the lack thereof. They're just simply, other than this playground, the pools, and the grills, there really are no amenities here. No activities, no games, no big events, no party-like atmosphere. It's just really kind of quiet. So if you're a person that likes action and activity, this property really isn't going to be for you. It's just not your typical timeshare resort like you might be used to staying in places like Orlando, on the beaches, Hawaii, the Caribbean, that kind of thing. So keep that in mind if you're coming here. There's simply no marketplace. There is no store. There is no gift shop. There isn't even a fitness center on site here at the resort. That also includes a bar, restaurant, bar and grill. No on-site food and beverage either. But when talking to the staff, they keep talking about they may build an amenity center and maybe even a couple more buildings here at some point in time, but I'm kind of going to be the one to believe it when I see it. I'm just not really sure I see Marriott Vacations Worldwide investing too much more into this property. I do understand that they've been trying to sell off the land around them here, and they would obviously only have room for a couple more buildings and maybe a small amenity center. But I suspect they'll expect the owners to pay for that amenity center, which might include a fitness center, maybe a small kind of bar area where maybe you can get drinks, that kind of thing. It's just not a busy enough resort to probably support that type of food and beverage operation. So let's talk about who this resort might be perfect for. And it probably does take the right kind of person to want to stay here. We're only here for 2 nights. It's definitely, like I said, doesn't have all the activities. It's definitely not a family resort. I mean, it's good for families. You have a nice pool. There's a kiddie pool. There's a great playground. But really, family-wise, it's probably not where most families want to go with their young children, teenagers. There's just not a lot of social activity around this property. So definitely not a kind of family vacation that you would normally come to expect at many timeshare resorts. So if it isn't a family resort, who might you think it would be good for, you ask? Well, it definitely seems like it might be good for golfers. We do have PGA Village and PGA Golf Club literally right across the street. That is, of course, a private golf club, but lots of other area golf clubs around here as well. So if you're a golfer, I've definitely seen a lot of people here with golf clubs, golf shirts, carrying all kinds of polos in and out of their cars. So definitely people here for golf. Also seen a number of cars with PGA Golf Club kind of parking decals for a week-long parking sticker maybe kind of thing. Not exactly sure how that works, but they're definitely here taking advantage of golf. I believe they might actually have a golf academy over there as well. And this week, they're actually starting a PGA event tournament. I believe it is a qualifying tournament for the PGA Championship. So that seems like a pretty big thing starting up here this week. So definitely a good resort if you're into golf here in South Florida. Okay, so we are, of course, very close to the Treasure Coast, that fabulous stretch of beach here in South Florida. And you might think, hey, this is a great resort for a beach vacation. And the beach is probably about 15 to 20 minutes away, so it might actually be not too bad. Over on Hutchison Island, there are a number of public beach parks, great beach parks, that we've actually seen when we've been to Vistana Beach Club. Had a couple of stays there before. Actually, if you want to see a whole playlist of videos for Vistana Beach Club, I will put a link up there to those. But yeah, it's not really ideal for a beach vacation. You can certainly drive to the beach, come back, but Vistana Beach Club is really probably more ideally suited for a beach vacation. You're literally right on the beach, literally steps from the waters of the Atlantic Ocean. Okay, the next group I'm going to talk about here that this is an ideal resort or property for is New York Mets fans that want to come and see the New York Mets spring training here in Port St Lucie, Florida. Literally just on the other side of the highway, a short distance away, is Clover Park where the New York Mets play their spring training games. So you can probably save considerable amounts of money if you own a week here, just paying your maintenance fees, which I believe are probably about $1,200 a year for 1 week. And yeah, from what I understand, talking to them inside here at the front desk, is that during those weeks, during spring training, rooms here can rent upwards north of $400 a night. So if you want to come for a whole week, you can save a lot of money on seeing the New York Mets play spring training, getting ready for their Major League Baseball season. So definitely a good resort for New York Mets fans. Okay, and there you can see the villas behind me here, the screened in porches, screened in balconies that they have, which is a great feature. But I'm going to mention the one last group that this is probably a good resort for is snowbirds. I mean, this is South Florida. It's great to get away from those cold northern winters. I mean, I lived in Ohio for a long time, and it's cold up there. It's great to get down here in the winter and bask in the warm Florida sunshine here in South Florida. Okay, so there it is, my review of the Sheraton PGA Vacation Resort here in Port St Lucie, Florida. If I had to kind of give it an overall rating out of 10, it'd probably be between a 6 and a 7, just because the lack of amenities here. It's really kind of more just like a hotel or even an apartment complex condo with a great pool. The pool is actually pretty nice, pretty big, lots of room. You never have to worry about finding a chair around the pool. No concern about pool hogs, chair hogs. That's something I really should have mentioned when I was talking about the amenities. You don't have to worry about getting up at 7 a.m., getting down there at the crack of dawn with your towel, your book, your shoes, your cheap dollar store sunglasses that you guys like to throw all out over the chairs and then leave and come back at like 1 o'clock. So I'm not pointing fingers at you. You know who we're talking about. But yeah, no need to worry about chair hogs. There's always lots of chairs around the pool here just because of its size and lack of being built out completely. So I guess between a 6 and a 7, it definitely has its charm. It is a fairly nice property, really nice. And it seems to be fairly well kept other than those few little kind of maintenance items I talked about earlier. So if you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. It really does help out these videos, helps tell YouTube that it's great, pushes it out to more people, helps out, feeds that YouTube algorithm, they say. And if you also want to see more videos about timeshare, check out the description box below for another video about Sheraton PGA Vacation Resort. Check out this one right up here. And YouTube, they think you'll like that video down there. And until next time, remember, let's make your next destination a timeshare.